What is going on, everyone? Let's take a look at the heart of Dixie, Alabama. Alabama has 3 nicknames: the Cotton State, the Yellowhammer State, and the Heart of Dixie. In case you don't know where it is, here you go. It's right there between Mississippi and Georgia. Alabama was admitted as the 22nd state on December 14, 1819, with Congress selecting Huntsville as the site for their first constitutional convention. The Heart of Dixie is ranked 30th in area and 24th in population, with just under 5 million people. Alabama is a state that is rich in history, both good and bad. United Van Line's annual National Movers Study ranked Alabama as the 10th most moved to state in the U.S. Now, of course, like most of you, this was a shock to me considering their proximity to Mississippi. When you're right next to Mississippi, that's not a good thing usually. Mississippi deters people in so many ways, it's mind-boggling. Now, if you're one of the people contemplating moving to the Cotton State, you might want to watch my top 10 reasons not to move to Alabama. Number 10. They don't have things. Alabama is a place that doesn't have some things that Americans have gotten used to over the years. Here's some of them. They don't have any of the major professional sports: IKEA, In-N-Out Burger, Jack in the Box, El Pollo Loco, White Castle, Hard Rock Cafe, Bank of America, the lottery, or its own minimum wage. And I know they use the federal government's minimum wage. Stop typing. Number 9. You could gain weight. Because Alabama's food is amazing, you'll likely pack on the pounds if you relocate here. The barbecue is great and everything else is fried. Now that sounds like a great thing, and most might see it as a reason to move to Alabama, and it kind of is. The downside is it's very easy to gain weight. Alabama is ranked as the 6th fattest state in the country. And oddly enough, the ones above it are in the same area: Mississippi and Tennessee and Arkansas. They're all in that little southern area. Number 8. Sports nuts. Again, this doesn't sound like a bad thing for most people, but for some it really is. Some people actually hate sports, hate the whole concept, everything. And in Alabama, these people are nuts for sports. Mostly college football, but hunting, fishing are big as well, and other college sports. So if you relocate to Alabama, my advice is this: most people already have plans on Saturdays from August to November. Get used to it unless you want to watch football. When you do get to Alabama, pick a side. Tide or Auburn. Your choice. Number 7. Bugs. Like most southern states, the bugs in Alabama are bad. Real bad. Mississippi might be the only place that has it worse, but Alabama has it bad. Get used to them or leave. That's the only advice I can give you. Bug spray never seems to do much. Mosquitoes, gnats, chiggers. Chigger's basically a mite, not really as much an insect. The list goes on. Number 6. Bad weather. Alabama gets some really bad weather. The type that sometimes kills people. They have serious ice storms, and a state of emergency has actually been declared 13 times since 1960 because of ice storms. Nothing like hearing a tree pop. They freeze so hard that trees basically break. They get tornadoes, occasionally, and hurricanes as well. And if you watch the news, you know how bad hurricanes can be. Number 5. Summer weather. Besides the ice storms, tornadoes, and hurricanes, the summer in Alabama can be awful. Heat gets up in the high 90s and sometimes over 100 for weeks at a time. Humidity is so bad you think you might actually drown on dry land. This is not a good time. It's nothing like being outside for 5 minutes and sweating straight through your t-shirt. God help you if you gotta work during the summer in one of these heat waves. Number 4. Birmingham. That's right, Birmingham is a reason not to move to Alabama. The city of Birmingham is like a stain on the whole state of Alabama. The only thing that can be said good about Birmingham is it's got a low cost of living, and it's got some history. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you've learned one thing: that if a place gets an A grade in cost of living, there's a reason for it, and that reason is never good. Congratulations, Birmingham, you get an A+ on cost of living. Too bad you have the worst crime rate of all the major cities in the U.S. Their overall crime rate in Birmingham is 186% higher than the national average. They should film the next Escape from New York, Escape from L.A. type movie here. Escape from Birmingham. I think it's impossible. Number 3. Healthcare. Alabama is ranked 48th when it comes to healthcare. More specifically, they're ranked 47th in public health, 49th in infant mortality, 48th in obesity. These facts should scare you. On top of all that, only 20% have made it to the dentist in the last year. Chew on those numbers a while. Or if you're in Alabama currently, gum on those numbers a while. Number 2. Drugs. The major cities in Alabama have serious drug issues. In some areas, it's actually labeled catastrophic. Meth labs spring up all the time in those abandoned homes. Even in the more rural areas of the state, they have all the problems with drugs the major cities do, including abandoned houses that are used for drugs. Hey, but at least in Alabama, they're not making meth labs in Walmart bathrooms like that dude in Indiana. And number 1. Poverty. Alabama's 17% poverty rate is higher than the majority of the other states in the U.S. Poverty always seems to be the starting point for a long list of other problems a state faces. Alabama is one of the minority states that didn't take advantage of the federal funds to expand Medicaid. They decided they didn't need it, which of course this affects people in poverty more than anyone else. Partial result is 10% of the state's population is uninsured. The unemployment rate is not too much worse than the national average in Alabama, but the average wage is extremely low in the state. Most of the residents are living paycheck to paycheck, and some have been using the payday loan system and getting even more screwed. Just last month, a new law in Alabama was introduced to kind of curb the practices of these loan companies, and that's some good news for the people of Alabama. The stats I read on those companies are alarming. You should Google that. That one's pretty scary. Poverty is usually a big one, especially if a state has something like 17-15% poverty rate. That's a high number. Alright, so that's it. That's the top 10 reasons not to move to Alabama. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit all those buttons down below, including the subscribe button. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.